everyone! Today I will be showing you how to make this cute birthday card. For this card, I started off by using the cute mouse with a cupcake from the Penny Black Critter Party stamp set. I lined the stamp up with the lines on my craft mat and then stuck it to my acrylic block and inked it up with some versafine onyx black ink. I then stamped the image onto some white cardstock, making sure to push down in all areas to get a clear image. After the image was stamped, I used a baby wipe to clean it off. You could just use some soap and water. I colored the flame and the dripping wax of the candle yellow. I then went on to the icing of the cupcake and colored it in light purple. For the cupcake liner, mouse's ears, hands, and feet, I used some light pink. For the mouse's body, I used some gray, and for their handkerchiefs, I used red and dark blue on the polka dots and light blue and yellow for the rest of the handkerchief. I decided for the candle to use some dark purple. The last thing I added to the image was some light green at the bottom for grass so it didn't look like they were floating. After the image was colored in, I decided to add some glitter to the cupcake. I grabbed my cookie sheet that I used to protect my area from being covered in glitter, because let's be honest, even though you put glitter in only one spot, it seems to get everywhere else. For the glitter, I used some white because I only wanted the sparkle and I didn't want to cover up the cupcake icing. I used my Zig 2-way glue pen and then poured a fair amount onto the area. I then closed the lid to the glitter container so it wouldn't spill, because I've had that happen before and it was not fun. Following that, I pushed the glitter down with my finger to make sure it stuck to the glue. Once everything was stuck, I then picked up the image and poured off the excess glitter into the container. After the glitter was all back into the container, I then grabbed the Make-A-Wish sentiment from the same stamp set and stamped it up at the top of the image with some versafine onyx black ink. Following the sentiment being stamped, I set it aside to cut out a square using my Fiskars paper trimmer with some light purple cardstock and rounded the corners. I thought the image could use something behind it, so grabbed some pink craft twine and taped it to the back and wrapped it around 4 times. Once the ribbon was wrapped around, I used my ATG tape runner to adhere the image to the front of the purple cardstock. After sticking the image down, I thought it didn't look quite right and wasn't sitting right either, so I gently peeled the piece up and flipped it over and adhered some foam tape to the back and restuck it down. Next, I took some light peach cardstock and set the image on top of it so I could see where I needed to mark it to cut. I added some light pencil lines so that it would be easier to erase after. After the paper was cut and the corners were rounded, I used my ATG tape runner again and adhered everything to the peach cardstock. For the card base, I took some white cardstock and folded it in half and cut it down to the size I wanted it with my Fiskars paper trimmer. I then adhered some yellow cardstock to the front to tie it all together with the other colors I was using. When adding the tape to the card base, I accidentally went over the edge just a little, but it wasn't a big problem because I used my fingers to rub it and push it back onto the card. Then I stuck the yellow cardstock to the card base. The last two things I did to the front of the card was round the corners and add the image. For the inside of the card, I decided to stamp the image I used on the front. I wanted it to be faint, so I stamped it with some Tim Holtz Seedless Preserves ink. For the sentiment, I decided to use two different ones to make one. The first sentiment said, "Have a wonderful day." I used some tape to cover over the word day when inking it up and then peeled it off. For the last sentiment, it said happy birthday, and I did the same thing as the first one and covered up the word happy. The last thing I added to the inside of the card was a cute cupcake cut out of some pattern paper. A neat trick when fussy cutting the image out is to move the paper and not use scissors. Then I adhered the cupcake inside the card with my Zig 2-way glue pen. Then I thought the entire card looked complete. Thanks for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Also, a list of the supplies used to make this cute card will be down below.